APC, an upgrade from 2019 elections, which produced just one female in the assembly.
People, political class that it all around the economy, put food on people's table, give us accessible and quality education.
The 9th Assembly will eventually exit the lawmaking stage for the 10th Assembly, and expectations are that the newly elected House members will surpass the achievements of their predecessors. Sahid Arabisala.
In our related development, the PDP's governorship candidate, Siminalea Fabura, has been declared the winner of Saturday's governorship election in Rivers State. The Independent National Electoral Commission declared Fabura winner of the poll, having won in the 23 local government areas of the state. The INEC returning officer, Professor Akpofure Rimkuke, said the PDP candidates polled 302,614 votes to defeat its closest rival, Tonye Cole of the All Progressives Congress, who scored 95,274 votes. Also, the Independent National Electoral Commission has declared APC governorship candidate Senator Uba Umar winner of the governorship election in the state. The INEC coalition officer, Professor Lawa Bilbes, who announced the results, said the APC candidate polled 730,002 votes, while its closest rival, Isa Ashiru Kudan of the People's Democratic Party, scored 719,196 votes. He added that the PDP candidate won in 13 local government areas of the state, while Sonny, the incumbent senator representing the Kaduna Central Senatorial District of the state, won 10. Still on election issues, the European Union Election Observation Mission to Nigeria 2023 has knocked the Independent National Electoral Commission for failing to live up to expectations in Nigeria's electoral process. The chief observer, EU Election Observation Mission, Barry Andrews, in his preliminary statement on the governorship and state assemblies election, and said Nigerians hungered for democracy and were ready to be involved in the country's democracy. However, he noted that appetite was lost due to failures by the political elite and INEC. He said up until the postponement, INEC continued to abstain from providing information, limiting its communication to a few press releases and ceremonial statements, and hence failing to address public grievances and rebuild confidence in the electoral process. The EU EOM will present and publish its final report, including recommendations for improving the electoral framework in the next few months. Nigeria is now 95th happiest nation in the world and 6th in Africa, with a 4.981 points, according to the latest edition of the World Happiness Report. Mauritius tops African countries in the yearly United Nations sponsored index of 137 nations with 5.902 points. The report again named Finland, which is home to 5.5 million people and has held the title for 6 years running, the world's happiest country. Meanwhile, Afghanistan remains at the bottom of the ranking, a league table of almost 140 countries. Scientists behind the report concluded that the COVID-19 pandemic has not made us unhappier. Kenya police have tear-gassed opposition leader Raila Odinga's convoy in the capital, Nairobi, as he spearheaded the biggest protest against President William Ruto's government since he took office. Mr. Odinga accuses the government of being illegitimate and of failing to tackle the high cost of living. Akintunde Akinshemola has details.
The leader of Kenya's opposition was tear-gassed by police during a protest against President William Ruto on the high cost of living in Kenya. Raila Odinga's convoy was repeatedly sprayed with tear gas as they addressed supporters from the sunroof of his car. Odinga's spokesman Dennis Onyango said at least 4 members of parliament were arrested during the protests in Nairobi, including the minority leader of the National Assembly and the Senate. Odinga has called on national protest as he attempts to express dissatisfaction with the president despite Ruto's promises to bring down living costs since assuming power in September last year. Inflation has remained high. It rose to 9.2% in February this year. Ruto said his government is laying the foundation for a healthier economy, including by cutting reliance on borrowing. Odinga has also called the reaction an opportunity to protest Kenya's election last August. He said the vote was tainted by fraud. Odinga challenged the result in the Supreme Court last year, but the court affirmed Ruto's win. Akintunde Akinshemola for Osrc News.
In our related development, a smattering of protests against President Emmanuel Macron's plan to raise France's retirement age from 62 to 64 continued into the night as uncollected garbage reeked in the streets of the French capital amid a strike by sanitation workers. Largely non-violent protests were held in various cities, including Nantes and Marseille, where protesters got past police to occupy the main train station for around 15 minutes. In Paris, police sought to restore calm after 2 consecutive nights of unrest at the Champs-Élysées Avenue and the elegant Place de la Concorde, where protesters and several thousand protesters set trash cans on fire and protesters chanted as firefighter sirens wailed. And that concludes Word at Noon. Thanks so much for watching. Good afternoon.